Happy full moon. Still had Mystic, El Melchizedek. Trying to get this together. Alright, chapter 5 of The Trick to Money is Having Some by Stuart Wilde. Up until this point, we've been discussing how energy is something that we build over time and we convert it over to the physical world. Secondly, second chapter, we were talking about creating a personal vision for yourself, something outside of the masses, your own personal vision, how to take hold of your spiritual power and your spiritual energy. In the third chapter, we talked all about acceptance of yourself and how once you accept yourself, the world accepts you, and that opens you up to the flow of energy. And we talked all about the flow. The fourth, we talked about the emotions around charging people for our goods and services. We talked about value in our time. In chapter 5, we talk about how easy it is to actually make money. Making money is a piece of cake. The first principle that we want to talk about is what you get out is what you put in. A lot of times the reason why people aren't wealthy is because they don't put in the proper energy, or they don't have the right mindset to even handle money. So it's not going to happen for them, and they don't understand the constant stream and the consistency one has to have on a daily basis. The formula we're going to be working with today is output equals input. So whatever we put out, that's what we could expect in, and vice versa. Secondly, he goes on to talk about the quality of the energy that you're dealing with. So like in previous chapters, we're talking about building up your energy. And we talk about that because we actually want to do less work. And the way that we actually do less work is by raising our quality of energy, as opposed to, doing the proper ritual, the proper sowing, watering, and reaping of what we sow, being consistent and daily about the energy that we choose to put forward. And if we want to put lower quality, things like prayer, hoping, and wishing, then we actually going to have to do more work, like find jobs and things of that nature to get over. But if we are doing the proper information and learning how to become more productive in society, and not wasting our time, and focusing on our crafts, our goals, and things of that nature, then we present a higher quality, and we actually do less work, and we make more money. And then how do we up the quality? He goes on to explain it, and he calls it a modi or a modus, or a way of doing things in 3 steps. So you have intellectual abundance, that's knowledge. The physical correspondent would be like the internet. So whether it be Amazon or YouTube or Facebook, there's no limit to the amount of knowledge that one could attend. If you wanted to learn anything, you practically could go on YouTube and get direct video knowledge of how to fix your car or anything. So it's really no excuse in 2017. The second mode is spiritual abundance, and that would be wisdom, ritual, and practice, dealing with your spiritual reality, your infinite reality that existed prior to this life and that will exist after this life. So learning how to take a step back and realize that you are infinite, and really believing in that principle can really take you a long way. And also physical abundance, action, what you're actually going to do on this physical plane. Because if you just got the knowledge and you just doing prayers and you ain't doing nothing, then that's what we're here for, to experience this realm. So it don't make sense to just want to just do 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3. So putting those 3 together on a consistent daily basis. We improve our quality of life, and we improve our finances, and we actually do less work because we're aligned intellectually, spiritually, and physically. A lot of people think hard work is what we need to make money, and then they get second jobs and work multiple jobs and say super busy, but you still be just as broke. It's not like you feel like you got extra money because you don't have time. And once again, we got to start to value our time, make money every hour for ourselves and things of that nature. We got to use our energy, and if we can't make money, research on how to make better products, how to make better services. It's online schools and things of that nature. You can learn things on YouTube, college courses and all of that. So it's really no excuse. Also, we got to remember that, inside the energy of abundance is flow, not struggle. If you find yourself ever struggling, you're not dealing with the principles of abundance, and you're dealing with what we explained earlier, that intellectual, spiritual, and physical energy. You're dealing with a lack, and you're not dealing with the principles of abundance. Now, he's not saying that you shouldn't put forth effort, but he's saying that struggle is something that's laced with negative emotions, and it's really unnatural, and you really don't need it. Dealing with your ancient spiritual energy, that is a good force. There's nothing evil about it. So when you deal with it properly, it's there to assist you daily. So work with it daily. Always think about it. Put it on the forefront of your mind, because that's the most important part of your being, and not this human reality. A lot of our views on ourselves through the ego is perpetuated through society, and that's really to keep you under control, because honestly, there's nothing that's stopping you from filing paperwork to start a business. There's nothing stopping you from doing research. There's nothing stopping you from, putting forth effort into making jewelry and buying jewels and things of that nature, wholesale, and starting your jewelry company. There's nothing stopping you from starting your cleaning company. This is America. You could definitely start a business. Anybody can start a business, and that's what's great about living in this country. So the idea of poverty is only because you're not putting forth the energy and not dealing with this energy of abundance and realizing the difference between effort and struggle. You only struggle because you're not putting forth the effort to live a life that really that the life that you only should live, being a spiritual being, is that a life of freedom, and understanding that all three of these things in alignment, they provide you freedom. Furthermore, he goes in to talk about, to become rich, one has to think rich, and that is to never ever agree to poverty, and never accept poverty as a truth, and never see poverty in others or wish it upon others. Because earlier we were talking about the subconscious mind, how it cannot tell the difference between me and you. So cursing another person is actually cursing yourself based on the subconscious mind. I know consciously you see the difference, and the difference is obvious, but subconsciously there is no difference. So you have to begin to love others and see the good in others regardless of the circumstances, just based on how the subconscious mind works. Understand that another person's success is not your lack. If anything, it's a testimony that you could be rich and wealthy too. There's a lot of mediocre wealthy people. It's 7.5 billion people in the world. That means, there's millions of people that's extremely wealthy. So, the odds is really in your favor. It's all about the energy that you choose to put forward and the choices that you make. That's why, the point is to study and speak it into existence daily, regardless of the circumstances, whether if I have money and want more money or whether I have no money at all. The conversation is wealth, because that's the choice, moving forward. And realizing that our ideas about mostly everything in life has come from other people. So the need to isolate ourselves and deal with ourselves like adults, and not deal with ourselves like needing to be attached to all of these things that don't serve our freedom. Because once we become free, then we can begin to help others. But the spiritual journey is all about freedom and how to attain that through, understanding your intellectual, your spiritual, and your physical. And really be forceful, like, irregardless of what you're going through or what people are telling you or how you feel, or even the inner, like, this shit ain't for real, or whatever the case may be. You have to be forceful and deliberate about your conversation. And that's another reason why we doing these videos and we starting these groups and we having these conversations and we doing the proper rituals, and we not dealing with people who got broke consciousness, because that shit is like a disease and we don't want to be infected with it. So if nobody is having the conversation, I'm going to create the conversation, because what our people need is freedom. And we get freedom by wealth, and not vilifying money or thinking money is something bad and evil, because money isn't real. Money is just a symbol. So we dealing with the energy now to acquire the proper symbology that brings us about our freedom, and understanding the stability and the security of being consistent and constantly talking about it. It brings it and it attracts it into our lives, and we have opportunities. Always police your mind. Any ideas, any negative feelings towards money, any ideas of poverty, or feeling like you're going to be in a certain situation forever, you got to be like, follow that up with a positive thought, because you got to really control your mind, because your subconscious is powerful and it brings about these negative situations because we think about them in certain types of ways, and we don't police our mind. We just let these negative thoughts run rampant, and we don't stop that shit and start to switch our mind into a more positive consciousness, and really building our confidence, really having this psychic stability within, and really understanding that, we are psychic beings, we're spiritual beings. Like, I don't care who you are, like, you really are powerful, if you choose to be. It's all about making that choice. And realizing that things change, and even if you're going through difficult times, you gotta learn how to handle shit. Because how you gonna be wealthy and, people suing you, people trying to steal from you, accountants lying to you, lawyers lying to you, you always in shit. Like, you gotta be able to handle the small shit, or else you need to redirect what you really want. Because nothing said that this thing was easy. And the fact that you can manifest money is a testament that you can manifest it again. So losing it ain't really losing it if you have this down to a science. Just understand and feel it real. We thinking like this, and we being daily with this, and we being persistent about this, because we make wealth a habit. Because for so long we have let actually poverty be a habit, based on the music, based on our neighborhoods, based on just the everyday thoughts. And not all of us, some actually was in a circumstance, seen past the circumstance, and now they're no longer in the circumstance. But it starts with a mental commitment, making this a habit, because it's not circumstance, it's not happenstance, it's not luck, it's deliberate thought, developing positive habits that constantly affirm wealth, constantly affirm success, constantly having the conversation. The only way that we can get out of this system is becoming successful. We can't be impoverished and poor and thinking that we're going to make changes and that we're going to help people. And really understanding that the system is not designed for our wealth. Understanding that, like, even though the system is not designed for our wealth, there's still nothing stopping you to become wealthy. It's just the fact that nobody's talking about the things that you can do. Nobody's talking about filing an LLC. Nobody's talking about grants. Nobody's talking about the 501c3. These things aren't really even offered in college. So it's just a lot of things that go on in society that could increase our wealth. But we just got to be patient and diligent enough to take the necessary steps to achieve the things that we want to achieve. A lot of it is just paperwork. There's no tests, there's no quizzes. It's not about how smart you are. It's all about, are you willing to take the necessary steps to acquire things and deal with the system and not be mad at the system. A lot of our people are so upset with the system that we don't even deal with it. We really just want to find a good enough job that pays us enough money so we can be comfortable. But that's what they want you to do. And when you take this leap, like I said earlier, like with the isolation and distance yourself from people and negative ideas, yeah, of course you don't have that security. Of course you ain't as certain as you was in the comfort of your family and those that know you. But what you need is creativity and energy and know how to develop that. So comfort and security don't always necessarily develop that. Sometimes certain situations can bring that out of you. But like I said, we dealing with the idea of wealth, and we dealing with the idea of risk, and we dealing with the idea of metaphysics and manifesting things. So we have to be experimental. We need to be scientists with this. We need to do different things and work with different deities and do different rituals and be comfortable within ourselves to take chances. And also understand that we are taking control of our lives. And so, like anything, we got to get used to this concept. And it only works by practicing and understanding. How you doing? But like I said, I'm going to be consistent. I got about like 5 books that I'm about to read. And I'm going to just, do this as much as I can and just constantly hammer home the idea of wealth and constantly build wealth in my life every day, and take the small steps little by little, whether it be, and I'm going to be y'all going to be on the journey with me, whether it be starting an LLC, actually buying property, actually selling property, actually starting businesses and things of that nature, and just be on a journey of, building wealth, building a portfolio. And no matter where you at or how great you are or how worse you think you are, like, we all got to have this information. We all got to have this information, not the idea of making money for the sake of making money, but actually realizing that, spirituality and money goes hand in hand, and not even in a sinister way, but actually having the resources to actually help people, because that's where a lot of us fall short. We have all these ideas, but we do not have the resources to actually lend a helping hand. And it's not like we need the resources because money is not real. We just had to have the creativity and enough people with the energy to put in the paperwork to, start these 501c3s and start these groups and start these homes and start these, all of these things, because all it is pen on paper. And I need $1 million for this. Okay, let's give him $1 million. That's literally how it works. but is with proper intellectual information. So you have to have the knowledge of grant writing, right? Spiritual. You got to have the heart to want to help, teenage runaways, like all these girls missing in DCs. Who's starting the group homes? Who's starting the shelters? Because these girls is running away because they in foster homes, and the foster parents only care about that monthly stipend that they get from holding in them girls. I know some of them is caring, but a lot of these foster parents is in it strictly for the money. But you got a good heart. You care about these girls. So what's up with the 501c3s? Just open up these group homes so these girls can have a home to run away to, where they in a safe environment. And you can give them some work to do, give them some responsibility, and give them some love. And you can do all that by writing it all down on a pen and paper. You probably wouldn't need you would need the money to file for your 501c3. In Ohio, that's like $25. But if you write it enough and you get enough fundraisers, and you get enough, supporters, enough investors, enough donors, there's 7.5 billion people in the world. That's such a large number that most people can't even fathom the amount of people. And a large percentage of those people have so much money that they have to give it away by law. And it's so much money, it's billions of dollars that they give away, but it's billions of dollars that they don't give away because there's not enough people that know about this, that have this knowledge. So we all spiritual and we all got good hearts. So we just have to really put the knowledge forward. And really not be just trying to make money for the sake of money, making money to survive, or make money so we can keep up with the Joneses, so we can have our children in the latest clothes. We can be in the latest clothes, or we can have the latest car. We're making money as a spiritual symbol, as a spiritual conduit to invite positive change in the world. As light bringers, this is what we have to do. We have to have the resources, because we can't do it by meditating. Like I said, we can't just do it on the spiritual side. And we can't just do it because we read a lot of books on Black history. We got to have some type of action behind it. We got to have all three layers. And realize that your experience is your experience. So you have to take in your experience, choose freedom, choose wealth. A lot of us got this Christian upbringing where we waiting for heaven when we die. And that's a deep-rooted subconscious mind game to control you. And it's so deep that you probably don't even recognize it. Even if you've been to church and you grew up in church and it was all about heaven, that made us subconsciously accept a fucked up now to get to heaven later. But it's millions of people that's living heaven now because they made that choice. And nobody living has died to tell you what heaven is like. So I'm just making a choice that heaven is now. I'm choosing freedom now. I'm choosing wealth now. And I'm going to be consistent with my message. And I don't give a fuck about challenges and things and obstacles and things of that nature, because I done been through too much. And now I realize that all it really takes is just a simple adjustment of my mind, and then it's not even a problem no more. And I'm building my power, and I'm dealing with my creativity. And so sometimes I have ideas that other people don't even be thinking about, because I'm constantly just having fun throughout the day and letting my mind be free. And also being responsible, like taking care of children and realizing like, oh, we need to discuss this business as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's multi-layered. Like, we clowning, we serious, we taking care of children, we gotta have fun with the children, we gotta be responsible, we gotta think about our future, we gotta invest, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, and we gotta meditate too. We gotta, do offerings to the ancestors as well. We gotta go on nature walks as well, because this ain't about like living in a fantasy. This is a 3-layered approach. This is a spiritual approach, this is an intellectual approach, and this is a physical approach. But I'm trying to combine it because a lot of times people is just like, I'm strictly going to just meditate, or it's all about research, or it's all about doing some shit and protesting and not researching shit. Just let's find somebody to follow. But that's not my message at all, because can't nobody do this shit for you but yourself. So trusting in your spiritual, trusting in your inner. But it's not about having this big grand idea either. It's about, of course you got the grand idea, but you have to be logical and literal with your daily paper filing, waiting on the courts to okay this, getting your licenses and your permits and your paperwork together as well. That's a reality just as well. But if you got your mind right and your spirit right, then you just gotta do what you gotta do. Keep your mind up and your eyes focused, eyes level. Intellectual, spiritual, and action. That's what we trying to get through. That's what we trying to get you to really get in the line and really make this spiritual first and foremost. And don't be chancy. Figure out what works. And when you figure out something that works, concentrate on it, build on it. And, if you got financial goals, it really don't matter how long it takes you to get there as long as you happy and balanced and stable along the way. Because it's not about jumping off the roof. And it's not about being this deep-ass person that just has a bunch of shit to say. It's about coming through every day with positive energy and wanting to be somebody that people want to be around, somebody that people want to do business, because people like your energy, people like your knowledge, and people like the way you handle business. Once you're ready to become wealthy, then you're ready to take responsibility for your whole entire reality. There's no more Trump president, so I can't do shit. There's no more KKK. There's no more I'm black. There's no more I can't do it because I'm a woman. I can't do it because I'm a man. I can't do it because I got felonies. I can't do it because I wasn't raised by my daddy. I couldn't do it because my mama wasn't there. I can't do it because I grew up in this part of town. Once you ready to become wealthy, once you ready to become free, that's the first day of your life, and you don't have nobody to put the blame on. You responsible. And that's the thing, most people want to just not take responsibility and be comfortable as shit on blaming somebody for why they not successful they whole damn life, and be just fine with it. The fact that they baby mom is crazy, the fact that they nigga ain't no good, they is comfortable in these ideas. But really, it was all about them the whole time. And it's all about me. You know what I'm saying? It's all about you. This is not follow this nigga or listen to this nigga every week because he got something deep to say. It's just giving you, I'm just being motivated. I'm just trying to motivate you to understand that this is a daily process. And it's so easy to not be daily and deliberate with this shit because nobody around us isn't. Period. People got a problem with wealth. So, that's chapter 5. A little quick overview of what we talked about. The beginning, we talked about the quality of the energy that we're dealing with and the quality based upon our daily application and manifestation practices, we actually are creating less work for us in the long time. And if we aren't deliberate and we put like a lower quality and we sometime with it, and a lot of times we just want to pray about this thing or we want to wish about this thing to happen, then we're going to actually have to do more work. We actually going to have to get a job and things of that nature. A job that we probably don't want. But we build our quality and we consistently improve over time by being deliberate, constantly having a conversation, creating our own little bubble of wealth and freedom, and fuck what everybody else talking about, by developing this intellectual, this spiritual, and this physical, deliberate daily practice, and really want to key in on the spiritual. But we also have to understand that we got to have knowledge about what we doing out here, and we actually got to be physical, and we actually got to do something. But we don't got to do what everybody else doing. We got to do what we need to do. We have to create our own story, create our own mythology around our success, and have a spiritual symbology for the money that we making and the good that we doing in the world. And we working with the flow of the energy, and we understanding what we doing. We not just making money to keep up with the Joneses. We making money because we got a spiritual quest going on. We making life actually worth living, putting forth consistent and deliberate intentions daily to create a sense of freedom for yourself and your family. We living life with our mind open, and we living life free. Our eyes are level to the ground, but our mind is up in the stars with all the deities, all the ancestors, giving us infinite knowledge, giving us creativity, putting us in the right place in the right time, and we dealing with this reality, and we concentrating on our goals. Next chapter, we are dealing with feeling good about feeling rich. So that was chapter 5. Like I said, it's all about consistency. It's all about having to build. If you got any questions, you can comment. I guess that's it though. But I'm happy y'all watched, and y'all have a good night and have a happy full moon. Make sure you manifesting something. Make sure you're dealing with that energy. Peace, family.